What's up, guys? I had a friend reach out to me and ask me to react to this video right here. Now, as I react to it, understand I do not know who this person is, and I also don't know the greater context of the conversation. So I'm just reacting to what's being said.
Jesus and the church is going to die again if they don't find a way to portray him the way he was historically known to be.
So if we're speaking biblically, Jesus and the church are not going to die again. I'm not too sure if the church ever died, because here we are 2,000 years later, and through Jesus we have victory over death anyway, because he conquered death and grave.
If you look at the history facts of Jesus, which I think favor Christianity in this weird way, that dude is not the dude y'all have turned him into. Y'all have Americanized Jesus and used him as a way of not only propaganda, but you've weaponized God.
So I would agree that the historical Jesus does help Christianity in a weird way, because we can root our faith in historical events. And I would also agree that the American Jesus is not the biblical historical Jesus, and that's whether you make him out to be a gun-toting conservative or a hippie Jesus, everything is love, social justice, warrior, communist Jesus either. Both of those American Jesuses aren't the real Jesus.
That was the opposite of who Jesus was. The same people that you are criticizing and going against are the only people that Jesus had a relationship with in the Bible. He did nothing but protect town whores, prostitutes, people in jail. Like the famous story, let he who without sin cast his first stone. He was protecting a prostitute.
See, this is what happens when you're confidently ignorant on a subject. And I don't mean this in a way of like taking a shot at this person. He's just wrong, because the woman in John 8 wasn't a prostitute. She was a woman caught in adultery. These are two completely different things. I'm also not too sure what he means by protecting. Jesus came into the world to free us from the bondages of sin, not to protect us or allow us to remain slaves in it or by it. So I would say if he was protecting them from anything, it was from hell by dying for that sin. Don't get it twisted. Jesus hates sin. Sin is the reason Jesus had to be put on the cross.
It's crazy. It's like, man, that's the opposite of what that dude was doing. So that's my problem with the church. It's like, even if we just go by the 4 books that y'all call the only 4 accounts of him.
So I don't know who he means by y'all. I'm assuming he means like the American church. And I'm also assuming he means the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, as being the only accounts for him. We don't believe that the 4 Gospels are the only accounts of Jesus's life. We just agree with the majority of scholars that these 4 Gospels give us the best understanding of what Jesus's life and ministry actually looked like. And the church doesn't say that these are the only accounts of Jesus, because there are other accounts of Jesus in the Bible outside of the Gospels, as well as extra biblical information on Jesus's life that align with what we find in the Gospels. But this consensus about the 4 Gospels has been this way for centuries. It's not just the American church that believes this.
This dude ran around with 12 thugs. If he was here today, he'd be on a fucking Harley.
So the apostles weren't 12 thugs. About half of them, we have no idea what they did. Judas was a thief, so you could say that he's a thug, but he also technically isn't an apostle. Then we have Matthew being a tax collector, Peter and the gang being fishermen, but none of them thugs. These were all devout Jews who, for the most part, really tried to live by the Jewish law, minus Judas, of course. But if Jesus was here today, he wouldn't be riding on a Harley. He'd be riding on a white horse with his robe dipped in blood, ready for war. And at that point, it would be too late. So put your faith in Jesus for your salvation today.